typing and stuff.
That didn't work very well. Hello.
I see our faces.
Yep. Beautiful.
Some things are working.
Beautiful.
We are live.
Yay!
Guess I should stop this.
Yay.
Audacity recording. Holy cow, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 windows open.
Oh, yeah.
I need more monitors, is what I need.
Yeah, you need like the setup from Grandma's Boy, where you just lay back in the chair and there's just
I need my monitors.
just booming, techno in the background. Yeah.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm. I wish I was that guy every day of
What's
my
up,
life.
chat room? Holy cow. There's a lot of you guys in here already. That is excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
I'm going to close Discord. That's a window I don't need open right now.
It's true. I'm trying to close anything that could like pop up.
Yeah, and throw you off. Psych you out.
It's like, oh, what's this Steam user?
Oh, boy. Evening, Totem. How's it going, buddy? Long time no see.
All right. I think we have everything set up.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Is the chat room ready?
Oh my gosh.
This
just
is
gonna wear this
going
face
to
the whole
be...
time.
You guys could be witnessing a train wreck in progress. Not just kidding. We're
Awesome.
fine. We're fine.
No, we're good.
We're fine, I've done
Good.
live shows before. I've just not had to sit behind the control board. It's okay.
Well, I've never done live anything, so let's do this.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording and pull this up. Pull.
Do this. Work a little magic.
Press a
Drink a
button.
little water.
Press a second button,
Then press the red button.
but not the hang up call one, right? That's the
No,
wrong
that
red
no. Mm-mm. That'd be bad.
button. Yeah.
All right,
Bad.
let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Greetings, mortal. Thunder, lightning. Whoa, that's kind of frightening.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 48 of Lords of the Storm. We are live, and this is the weekly Heroes of the Storm podcast for you, the true Heroes of the Storm. I'm your host, Greg Parker, a.k.a. Gizmozord, but you can call me Gizmo. And on this week's episode, we can actually talk about the two new heroes who we knew would be announced right after we talked about it last week. And sure enough,
Totally
it happened.
pegged it.
Yeah.
Totally
Oh,
pegged
yeah.
it.
And we also have some big changes, a lot of patch notes, both live as of today and some PTR patch notes. So let's hop right into it. Of course, joining me this evening are some more of the Zord Lords themselves. First up, we have Mr. Kevin Ellis, a.k.a. Multi-Zord. How's it going, Multi?
I'm doing well, man. I trimmed my nose hairs, so I'm ready for this.
Excellent.
ready.
Yeah, you have the largest head out of us all so far on stream,
Yeah.
so that's probably...
I can make it larger. I can zoom in.
It's just like that in real life too.
And we also
Yeah.
have with us this evening, as always, Mr. Ryan Reeder, a.k.a. TBK Zord. How are you doing, TBK?
I'm good. I'm happy to be live. This is exciting.
Yes,
This is a monumental step for
it's
that everybody who listens to it on audio won't care about it all.
Nope. Not one bit.
But holy cow, our chat room is, I was not expecting this for our first show. It's you guys are amazing, and hello to you all. But wow, so let's just keep on trucking before this train derails, which is possible because I'm pushing buttons. But what have you guys been up to in gaming this week? TBK, we'll start with you.
Lots of heroes. I actually was able to jump on the PTR a little bit yesterday. Got queued onto a European server against 3 European pros. It did not go well at 10 FPS and versus European pros. So that was an exciting game. But I absolutely love some of the PTR changes, and we'll talk about that here a little later in the episode. What else have I been doing? Just Cause 3. I've been working on feverishly trying to beat that game because XCOM 2 comes out like next Friday, and that will consume my life for several days. So I'm trying to finish my other single-player-y type experiences first.
Yeah, I've been doing a good job holding back at like buying any of the new, single player games that have come out. Mostly because I keep throwing my money at Heroes, but that's what happens.
Yeah,
I guess. Multi, how about you? What have you been up to in gaming?
A little bit of Heroes, a little bit of Hearthstone, but actually I have something new I want to bring up. That new Guitar Hero, I don't know what edition it's called, but the one that has like the 6 buttons, and you can only use your first 3 fingers, but it's got like 2 rows of 3, right? So, I used to play real Guitar Hero pretty seriously. Won a Kansas City tournament, did some stuff, I had a good time. So I kind of, when I first saw this game come out, I was scoffing at it a little bit, as you guys might remember, because you can't use the 4th finger. And one of the things that made me really good at the game was I actually have a pretty strong 4th finger from my violin playing, so it was a leg up for me. But okay,
or
so
a
I was
finger
a finger up.
for you?
Yeah, I thought about making that joke, but you got
It's
it
okay.
wrong.
I got you.
Okay, so I went to Best Buy. I tried it out. Just it had a little demo thing there, and I'd never played it, so what the heck. And so I'm getting a little cocky. I threw it on expert. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem. It was like I don't like it. I prefer the old version, but it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Like they have situations in which you have to hit both of the buttons on the same level at the same time, where you're like barring them across, and you have situations in which you have to like not hit other notes and cross your fingers, and then there's like open strumming and stuff, all the stuff that wasn't in the original versions. That really was kind of tough, and I just kind of stood there and got annihilated in front of this like old lady that was watching me, and it was an experience. So anyway, I don't love it, but it's got a high skill cap for sure.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. I haven't played Guitar Hero in forever. I played the first one pretty heavily, and this is back whenever I was a drummer. I guess I still am a drummer. Once a drummer, always drummer. But actually drumming on a regular basis. So I had really good rhythm, and I found drummers were actually better at that game than guitar players because it was so different than playing guitar. But for drumming, it's just all rhythm and stuff. So I was amazing at the first 2, and then I didn't play for a while. I tried playing a few months ago, not on the new one, and I'm horrible now. I can't do it. So
Get it back.
I was always a Rock Band guy.
it was.
I like
was-
the
was
rock
on-
band experience, like having a group of
Like the
people
full
together,
band
and
experience
full
with the
band
singing
and a
and
drummer.
stuff, yeah.
The drumming is really tough as well.
It is.
I don't know if you did much of that, Greg, but
And that's actually a lot different than actual drumming. So
Yeah, oh, yeah.
it's probably
No
guitar
doubt
players
there.
are better at that because everything was in the wrong spot.
why not?
But for myself, it's been a lot of Heroes the past couple weeks. Probably playing more than I've played in a long time, just due to the custom matches we're having. Working on my Smurf account, which is my MMR is already a lot better than my current MMR on my main account, and Team League. We've started a couple teams. I know I've been playing with Blue, Shambulance, Zoid, and Sambo. Actually, why couldn't
Yeah.
Zorn? The Zord.
The Zord Lord.
Yeah, so it's been really good, really fun, and we've been doing pretty well. I think we're almost done with our placement games. Some of them are. I am 14-5, I think.
That's
or
not bad.
13
Oh,
and
so
5.
you're only a game away then.
Yeah, I think
14
I'm 1 or 2 games away. I don't remember. But it's been really fun. Other than that, just hopping back into the WoW Alpha and testing some new classes and stuff out there. Again, like the specs, the changes they made to all the specs are amazing. They all feel completely different than what they are now, and I think it will bring a lot of people back to WoW who haven't played it in a while, because it really does feel quite different. But that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and hop into the show. But actually, before we hop into the show, we have some more announcements. Not only are we live this week, but this is going to be the announcement of our Patreon officially. We've we posted it in the Discord a few weeks, maybe a week ago or so. But we wanted to wait until our live show to actually tell everybody, and that time is now. We started up a Patreon. We've been wanting to do it for a while, but we just, we're waiting on timing and stuff. And the community has been so awesome. People have been asking for it, which blew my mind. And we finally did it. So without further ado, we're going to show the video for that. So here it is. Hey guys and gals, it's Greg Gizmozord Parker here along with Ryan TBK Reader and Kevin Multizord Ellis. And we are so excited to finally announce the launch of the Lords of the Storm Patreon.
We've been wanting to do this for a while, but we didn't really know when to actually jump into it.
And the Lords of the Storm community has been absolutely incredible. And it's because of you all that we've decided that the time is now.
One of the things we struggled with while deciding to launch this is what all could be offered to our Patreons. We didn't want to gate off our amazing community to only interact with our Patreon supporters. We've always been focused on interacting with all of you, and we wanted to keep it that way.
So many content creators these days can sometimes feel inaccessible due to the increase of podcast popularity and an already established fan base, which is totally fine.
That's one of the advantages we have had here at Lords of the Storm. We've been able to grow along with our community, and we hope to continue that growth along with this amazing game that's brought us all together.
So in order to do this, we have come up with some benefits to thank you for your support without requiring your support just to interact with us.
Now, you may be saying to yourself, whoa, if I don't have to support because I can get everything for free, then why would I even take the time?
Well, Kevin, because our community is amazing, and they've been asking us how they could support the show more. So we're going to have some cool benefits like priority access to the Lords of the Storm tournaments, cool swag, and colorful Discord titles.
Plus, it will allow us to do so much more as content creators. We know you guys have missed the Lords of the Lane tournaments, and we want those to come back just as much as you do, and with your help, they can.
Training sessions are another item that we've been asked about, and, well, we think it's a pretty awesome idea.
We also want to expand the Lords of the Storm community as a whole through events, adding more content such as YouTube videos.
The bottom line is we wouldn't be where we are today without you all, and with your help, the Sky Temple is the limit. No?
No.
Well, anyways, thank you all so much for checking out our Patreon, and we will see you all on the battlefield of eternity.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's like your Instagram account all over again.
My jokes weren't that bad, all right?
They were pretty bad.
Come on.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I've gotta throw this out there. I did steal Multi's jacket. So in the video, I'm wearing Multizord's Overwatch jacket. I was under the impression that we had really cool technology to do this, and I wore my sweet Jinx.com Chen shirt, which is awesome looking.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, it's got green on it, and you can't have green on when you're in front of a green screen, or else you have holes in your body. Who knew?
I wish
So
you
I
left
had
the
to-
holes in your body, personally.
I know. honestly, that would have been fairly appropriate.
Well, I would make fun of you, except I made that mistake this weekend while recording Blizz Pro, which, by the way, huge shout out to Paul for helping us
Oh,
put
yes.
that together. He's one of the Blizz Pro guys and pitched in for that. So huge
Did a
congrats to
ton
him.
of the work behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you again.
But so I wore a shirt this week that it was a plaid button up, kind of like I'm wearing now, except this isn't plaid, and it had like cyan on it, blue, but it was kind of greenish. And I told him, I was like, "Is this gonna mess with the green screen?" He's like, "I don't know, we'll find out." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Yeah, it messed with the green screen. So for like half the video, I'm black and white, which is kind of cool, and then the other half I'm see through partly.
Don't you have that green like wrist bracelet as well? One
Yeah,
of those
that
rubber
messes
ones
with
that
it
just
every
cuts off
week,
your wrist?
but it's cool,
Yeah,
it's whatever. But yeah, that's our Patreon, guys. And again, we did kind of do a soft announcement a few weeks ago, and you guys have blown our mind with that. We do
Incredibly
have some milestone goals as far as Lords of the Lane tournaments coming back, and some training sessions, adding some YouTube content, stuff like that. And we are
We're
officially
literally about to hit the Lords of the Lane.
yeah,
Yeah.
$10 away
Mind blown.
from Lords of the Lane coming back every other month, and wow, it blew our minds. So we wanted to take this moment to, thank our Patreon supporters that have already pitched in, and we want to continue to do this, just to thank you guys for supporting us. So for our uncommon level, we have Lebo, L Train, Tater, Archmonkey, and Devlord pitched in. Thank you guys so much. And then we also have a new segment that's going to be coming for people who pledged $5 or more to be given a Zord name. So, without further ado, you have been deemed worthy of bearing the Zord title. Welcome to the Zord Lords. I am so
how long
proud
did
of that.
Take you?
I
How
am
long
so
did it
proud of
take
that.
Probably way longer than it
No,
should
like
have.
30 minutes. I did that that's all me singing and stuff, messing with different things. And it is awful and awesome at the same time.
Awfully awesome.
Yeah, but so we have a lot of new Zords to welcome into the family. We have Parker Zord, Soup Zord, Matt Zord, Palter Zord, Derelict Zord, Joro Zord, Colt Zord, Totemly Zord, and Happy Zord. So welcome, guys, to the Zord Lords, and thank you again so much for your support. All the patrons we've already had. It's mind blowing to me still.
I still can't believe it. So thank you guys so much. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. And before we know it, we're gonna be doing Lords of the Lane again, which I'm super excited about. And again, I see some people asking. You can just go to patreon.com/Lords of the Storm to check that out. See all of our goals, our milestone goals, and you can donate if you feel the need to there.
but again,
You
no
can
pressure.
also watch that cool video again.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is there.
On loop forever.
Or or for those who are listening audio, if you want to watch the video and see me wearing Multi's cool Overwatch jacket, you can see it on there.
And I really want to keep playing that bumper. So I would love to do that in the future. So that'd be awesome if you guys, wanted to. But without further ado, let's actually get into the show because we have a lot to talk about this week. Lots of stuff changing, lots of stuff coming, but we'll just hop right into it. TBK, what do we got going on in the store sales this week?
So store sales wise, we've got regular sales, Thrall, Hellhammer Thrall, and Centurion Johanna. All really cool skins. I personally prefer the other Thrall skin. Forgetting it off the top of my head, Earthbreaker or whatever. He basically has like fire ponytail.
It's the
But
genie
sadly,
skin.
sadly that's not the one that's on sale. But I'm just telling you now so that you can watch for it.
I mean, the
Greymane-
Hellhammer skin's
It's
Kinda
it's
cool,
cool
too.
looking. It's got spikes and stuff. I mean, if you're into the spike thing, it's got spikes. um, Greymane is down to 10K this week, so if you were holding off on him, definitely check him out for 5K gold less. And he did just get buffed.
That he
And we're
did.
going to go over that shortly. But as of today, actually, he just got buffed. So he's in a really, really good spot. I absolutely love playing with him. And we did him an episode, last episode. So if you're interested in the build, we went through him with Rafflecopter from Team Blaze.
Yeah,
It's
just
really
forget all the numbers we told you because they're all different. The abilities and strategy, that's sound, but like
it's sound. Yep, it's
the
sound.
math, redo your math for sure.
And of course, from our fun Star Wars side, Space Lord Leoric is out.
Yes.
He is also $15, which
Yes.
Comes with the mount.
it's expensive.
I mean,
it's-
it is a
it-
legendary skin, and
It's a legendary
it is
skin.
incredible. Like
And it's
the
absolutely incredible.
the white and purple tint just blows my mind. Like, I just want to do that all the time, but I don't know if I want to $15 do it. So next sale or like Black Friday at the very least, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
See, this is
It's-
what I was talking
I'm
about.
gonna
Though
grab
it was just Cause 3 or 4, whichever one it was came out, or Space Leoric, and Li Ming in Zool. So,
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to save the monies for Miling.
I did pick up Li Ming. I haven't done much with her yet. I hopped on the, try mode on the PTR briefly, but just to get a feel.
They're in addition to all that stuff, though, they also did release an in development video for a bunch of the skins that are going to be coming out soon. We got like a Space Princess Li Ming. We've got Lunar. They're going to have a big Lunar Revel event. They just announced that'll be starting soon. You'll be able to play 25 games and get a cool portrait. And then there's a 50% chance for I think it's a once a day quest, and it's a little monkey that's on this like floating Lunar Revel card thing. And if you and a few other people channel at it and chase it around the little starting area, then you can get a quest to get 100 gold. It's kind of like
Oh.
killing the treasure goblin
Yeah,
for
that's
the
fun.
Eternal Crusade stuff. So that's really cool. A lot of extra gold in there, but definitely check out the video. We'll have the link to it in the show notes. It's a cool dragon mount. The star, was it Star Glider?
The Star
yeah,
Chariot
Star Guy
thing.
that goes
Star
with
Chariot,
the
yes.
Star
Oh my
Princess Li Ming or whatever that
I
is.
I love that more than I should. It's one of those.
gosh. Yes. I want the freaking Crimson Count Arthas.
Yes.
Because he turns into a man bat. Or an
Yes, he
Arthas
does.
bat.
Yeah, not a
Whatever.
Kerrigan bat, not a little small bat, a huge
No, like
giant
it's
man
huge.
bat.
Giant
And it doesn't look
werebat.
anything like Arthas either, so it's going to be really weird.
We were
But-
talking about how that might throw off your opponent slightly.
I
at least
know.
for a second to kind of react to, okay,
It's
what is
weird.
this? I
Yeah.
mean, it'll wear off over time. People
Yeah,
will
it's kind of
decide.
like the Betrayer Malfurion. No, not Betrayer Malfurion. The Illidan skin that looked kind of like Malfurion really threw me off for a while when Illidan was being played a lot. And then the Jaina, Lunar Jaina skin actually really doesn't look like Jaina a whole
Not
lot.
at all.
Besides, she's a chick. So that one could throw some people off too for a little bit, but after a week or so, people will get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of new stuff coming. Lots of cool stuff to spend all your monies on.
I will.
All the money.
Yes, you will.
But we also have the free hero rotation this week, which I believe is missing something. Once again, Multi, what do we have?
Yes, it is. We've got Gazlo, Kerrigan, Leoric, Muradin, Raynor, Uther, Sonya at account level 5, Sylvanas at account level 7, Lieutenant Morales, which is interesting, at account level 12, and Illidan at 15. And yep, no Vikings yet. Although
Vikings.
Justin Browder sent out a tweet today, earlier, I think, just discussing the Lost Vikings, like asking what they need, because someone had tweeted him saying that they needed a little bit of a buff. And I just threw in, just put him out for free week once for the second time ever so we can try it. So it's come across his desk.
I would
now,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah.
I need my gold. Need my gold.
Yep, that's it. There's no sense in spending 10,000 gold to earn 500, so I'm not going to do that. And I don't really want to play them, so yeah, that's where we're at. But This week, okay, Morales. That's pretty cool. I'm guessing there's a lot of people out there that haven't bought her, haven't really tried her out that much yet, and it's a chance to. Since the episode we did on her, I've warmed on her quite a bit. Like she can absolutely make a team, or break one, frankly. And I'm still the guy that's mostly breaking. I don't like I get the idea, but I'm just not always the best at executing it. And when the group fight breaks out, for some reason, man, I just lose it. I don't know. I panic. So I just need to work at it more. That's all.
Yeah,
But she is cool.
Yeah, it's a good list this week. I mean, I think Lieutenant Morales is getting a lot more popular. You know, we saw her a lot in the Heroes Rising tournament. Some killer play from her. And it always cracks me up how, you know, these heroes come out and everyone trashes them, and then, you know, there may be some slight buffs to them or something, but then like someone just figures them out, like, oh, okay, this is actually how you need to position Morales or whatever and stay safe from her. And if you can keep her safe, she's an absolute boss because it's just incredible. You know, like a team fight goes in, you can get your butt kicked, back out for a few seconds, and your entire team's full again. So
To be honest, though, the health buff was what really pushed her up into.
it helped,
viability.
but I don't know. It did. But yeah, I mean, it's a strong free hero rotation this week. I'm hoping to see some more Illidan play because I just don't see him that often anymore.
No, the stat
getting a
change
micro
was not.
buff.
The stat change was not kind to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for free hero rotation. TBK, what do we got going on as far in the competitive scene so far?
So lots of stuff went on. I mean, we got a really heavy episode, so we won't go over everything. The European qualifiers did start. The Enter the Storm Season 2 for NA started as well. The big thing we've got coming is the very first qualifiers for North America for the Invitational spring season is actually going to be played Sunday, January 31st. So this weekend, it's coming up. At least according to this, I'm seeing 11 Central Time, because it looks like it's in my time zone. So there's 32 teams signed up so far. I believe that Greymane is banned for this one.
Yeah, so we said on the Rafflecopter one that
But it might not
he was banned for all of them. So that's not the case, right?
Yeah, I don't see.
Because that would
any-
be weird. I feel like that'd be
Yeah.
a little weird.
Some of
All
them
heroes
far
are
enough
allowed
out.
unless they are newly released, where they will not be available to play for 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, so
Okay.
Is what it says now. So this is basically one of 3 qualifiers that teams will have the chance to enter to go to the Los Angeles qualifiers to go to Korea for the spring series. So that's pretty cool.
yeah, and you know, I'm glad they're not banning Greymane completely, because if they did, surely that means Li Ming and Zool would be banned the entire time too. Which granted, you know, Li Ming could come out next week, and if we couldn't see her
I'd say
in the
there's a
competitive
decent
scene,
chance.
that would be.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I think
I think we'll see Li Ming for the finals at the very least.
yeah.
The spring, and the Korea finals at least, if not for the Los Angeles ones. I don't know if she'll be able to make it for that or not, but I
Do we
would
think
hope we'd see her at the spring one.
Do we think the teams are going to be comfortable enough on her to actually try it? I mean, she's super high skill cap, and they've got super high skill.
I mean, and that's a good point too, because she's going to take. I think she's going to take longer than most heroes to master well, even for some of these pro players. But just seeing some of the games I've seen with her on the PTR, her potential is just insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Like, I don't want to play against a good Li Ming player
No.
because they will wreck me. They will wreck my face. Wreck my
Because of
face
that,
off.
I kind of want to take her seriously pretty early on, because I want to. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to play her to her absolute maximum, but I want to be that guy. I want to throw people off and zap people.
yeah.
You know,
But Archon, I mean,
it was
that's enough
pretty
to
cool.
make me- that's enough to make me want to play her.
I didn't realize it was like a semi-toggleable. It's like a
It
new
is.
ability.
Like,
that
you can
get.
actually pick her other ult, her little gravity force ult,
Force wave.
and then get Archon
And
and
still
get
get it.
both of them. Mhm.
That's really
and
cool.
get Disintegrate Beam too. So that's pretty crazy. And then the other sad piece of news, I kind of called it last week a little bit, but Murloc Geniuses is no more.
Yeah, I think
It's kind of sad. They were other than Team Blaze, they were just like my little underdog team I'd love to root for because they'd always come in, decently, but they never could quite do
Well, they
that.
kept
They lost.
improving too.
I know it
They
was
played
sad.
well.
They lost. They replaced Timmy and Fury, or they kicked them off pretty much, and then they were just left with Equinox and Faye and Cawthon, and so it came up this week that Equinox, along with Artemis Howell and Mimi Lynch, who used to run two other teams, they joined together with a few other pro players and they formed Resurgence Gaming. So that's a brand new team. Probably will see them this weekend in the qualifiers. And then Faye and Cawthon, I believe, went to Cognitive.
Yeah.
Along with Glaurung.
Yeah, Glaurung's back.
to Cognitive, so that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. I'm excited. There's some really, really good talent now on Cognitive, so I'm really excited to see how they do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do, especially in this first qualifier because they haven't been playing together for a while. But I expect some really strong things, and it's sad to see the Murlocs go, but I think again everyone kind of saw it coming, and from what I've seen, it wasn't just gameplay issues. There was some other stuff going on, which
Oh, really?
is bound to happen whenever you're playing that much, that often for so long.
And they had been together
Under
the
such pressure.
longest,
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, too. Like nine or 10 months they'd been together. That's pretty dang long for a team to stick together, especially if you're not consistently winning as well.
yeah, and I don't know how many of those people carried over from Evil Geniuses whenever they turned into Murloc Geniuses. So it's for some of them, it was even longer than that because they played at the
Yep.
previous BlizzCon, which is nuts.
Yep.
But yeah, so as far as news that came out this week, there have been some updates to the replay system. So they've just gone back, and you can actually go back, I guess, to replays from the alpha testing with this, and find some more stats like score screens, kills, deaths, assists, hero damage, siege damage, healing, and more. So they're working with some people in the community that have been working on overlays and stuff just to continue to improve it. And
Yeah. This is a little bit more complicated too. This is
Yeah.
not going to be something that the average user will care about necessarily, but it will be something that the average user will use a ton. So sites like Heroes Fire, like Heroes Nexus, like HOTS Logs, they have been given basically a tool called Hero Protocol to allow them to dig back into these replay files and pull out data from them. So they can pull out, technically, within a replay file, right after a game is played, you could pull out all the talent information, all the killing blows, the plays, everything, pretty
In-game
much.
stats. And,
Assists, siege damage, healing. You could just pull those all live from a replay file right after the game is played and have those up. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what some of these big community sites do with this tool, and we could start seeing like a lot of almost live stat type things during tournaments, which would be awesome.
yeah, and I know that would make things a little easier on our buddy the Hunter. Who,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that guy, he watches everything and compiles those amazing stat sheets and stuff. So I know he's
All manually.
had some long nights and days doing that. But so we've had some patch notes come out. We have both live patches, or some live stuff that went in today again, and we have some more stuff that's in the PTR right now. But we'll start out with some of the balance patch notes that hit today. So just some more little tweaks, and people, they seem to be staying on it when they said these were going to be coming out more often. Not a whole lot of huge stuff besides Greymane, who got a significant health increase.
Decent buff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buffs to his Gilnean cocktail. It costs less. The cooldown's less. more mana restoration from some of the abilities. The Razor Swipe in Worgen, the Unfettered Assault no longer increases Razor Swipe's cooldown, which is a pretty big deal.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm super excited to try that talent now.
We talked about that on the show about, you could take that that increases your distance, right? The sweep distance? TPK?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah, sorry.
how you could use that as an escape, but then the cooldown was longer. So it's like, but
Yeah,
now
this-
it's
that
perfect.
may actually turn into a viable chasing tool instead of having to take that extra 30% movement speed while your W is up. And not
That's
only
nice.
that, I mean, the movement speed is good, but this will be more consistent, especially if your W drops.
Yeah, and I mean, that not only chasing people down or escaping, but it's going to be a lot harder to land skill shots on him because he's going to be jumping around further and just as often as he would have been normally. So,
Yeah, it's a decent little dash.
yeah, I've seen a few gray mains since this came out, and I have been seeing a lot more Worgen builds. Granted, the Q build is still amazing that we went over. So
Can't go
But
on
at the
with
same
it.
time, it makes, and some of the other changes, especially the health increase and the health regen increase, make Worgen builds much more viable now than they were before. So now he can actually he's got a ton of cool talents. Now you can actually take advantage of some of
yeah.
them too.
Oh, a huge one. So both Darkflight and Disengage have been the cooldown's been reduced to 5 seconds from 6 seconds. So
Right.
it's only 1 second, but that's
That can be
That's a-
your life.
yeah,
right
that's a
there.
big second.
Could be.
Matter of
Yeah,
life
it
or
could-
death. Now, this, I think, in general, is just an example of what a lot of people have been talking about when they come out with a new hero, undertuning them initially and then bringing them up pretty quick. I think they've definitely done that here, but I'll be honest, from the looks of it, I don't know if that's the case with Li Ming and Zool so far. At least Li Ming, from what I've seen, she already seems super strong. So, do you
Yeah,
think they're
I'm-
deviating
I am-
from that with her, or what?
Well, and I mean, we're going to go over the PTR notes here shortly.
yeah, right.
But I think it'll be interesting because they haven't had a PTR for quite some time.
Yeah.
And so I think they really want to check Li Ming out because she has the potential to just be overpoweringly broken in the hands of a good player. And so they're going to have to be really careful to tweak her numbers just right. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're actually seeing a PTR this time around is so that they can get feedback on that.
Yeah, and I think they're wanting to see because they are wanting her to be powerful, with that high skill cap. But I think this PTR is a good test to see, whoa, there are way too many people way too good at her. Because if everyone can play her and just demolish, then she's just gonna have the same problem that Tyrande was having till she got her recent
Yeah.
small nerf. So we do not want another insta pick, insta ban hero
Ew.
just taking up one
No
of those
way.
slots.
Even if she's fun, and Li Ming looks really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as other assassins, just Falstad, Hinterland, Blast, damage getting increased just a little bit. The scaling went up 0.75%, but the cooldown increased from 90 seconds to 120 seconds.
I don't think I think that was
That's
of
a
all the changes. I think that
mistake.
was the worst.
Yeah, because I
One.
mean the Mighty
too long,
Mighty
and
Gust
it's-
was being picked most of the time anyways, and the only
I
reason
know.
I picked Hinterland's Blast is for some good wombo combos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this just makes me no, I don't want to touch it.
Yep. Not going to do it
So
anymore.
I mean, if you look at the patch notes, and again, we'll have them linked in our show notes. A lot of these have developer comments. So a lot of the big changes that went live today are to heroes' ults. And a lot of what they said is some of the ults are getting slightly longer cooldowns, and they're wanting to make them more impactful. Some of them look decent, and all but Johanna's secondary falling sword went down, but blunt force gun got a damage
A
increase.
huge one.
Yeah, that actually blunt force gun could actually be viable now.
It's going to be amazing for ARAMs
Yes,
and Lords
Oh
of the Lane.
That is true. Yeah.
Summon Syndragosa actually got a damage buff somewhat, but it got a 20-second. It's 100 seconds instead of 80 now. Stage Dive got a
whatever.
damage buff, which is kind of cool. It was kind of a niche pick anyways, depending on the map. Like big maps, Curse Hollow and Sky Temple Mosh Pit was actually a really decent pick in certain situations if you needed to get to somebody fast. Falling Sword cooldown was decreased from 80 to 60 seconds, and it no longer slows movement. So that was actually a straight buff for Falling Sword. But Falling Sword
Still
was
don't know if
never
I'll take
picked.
it. Yeah, right.
I know. So, I mean, Blessed Shield is just such a good initiation. The one that makes me sad, but
Muradin
at the
one.
same time not sad because it needed to happen. So Muradin's avatar, basic attacks no longer stun the target. So this is a huge deal.
Yeah,
this is
that's
a
big.
really, really big deal because this made him insane for blocking channels. And if you threw a stim drone on him, he could basically perma-stun somebody for the duration of the stim drone, which was absolutely ridiculous. So there was just some scenarios where this was just extremely overpowered. They did compensate a little bit. They changed the health bonus from 1022 plus 4% per level to 1124 plus 4% per level, and they actually reduced the cooldown from 100 to 90 seconds. So that's good, but my personal opinion is it's just boring. It's super boring.
Yeah.
All he is, it's just a big health increase now. I really
Which was
wish
always a really nice thing about it.
Sure,
But-
and I mean it's a good part of it, but the whole stun during the basic attacks was kind of his thing. And so now that that's taken away, I really wish, and I actually tweeted this at Dustin, I really wish they would add in, like, don't give him more health. The health was great. I mean, it's a lot of health anyways. Give him a baseline of 25% CC reduction while in avatar form. That would
Or
be
something extra. Yeah.
yeah, so that would be an extra. It's not quite the same thing as the basic attack stun, but it's something that helps it stand out a little more, gives it kind of a more of a cool factor rather than here's just a pile of health.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's it needs something to add some flavor to it because it's again just really boring. But you know, I still think Muradin is going to be maybe not the top now as far as competitive play because of that stuns, but I think he's still going to be one of the top tier warriors, and his Q stun is still incredible. So
Yeah.
And I mean,
this
you
does
can
nothing
still
to
take piercing and
yeah,
stun
get two people.
Right.
But, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, what happens here in the qualifiers coming up. But yeah, so those are the changes that went in today. But we also had our PTR patch notes that are coming in, and those have a lot still.
Yes.
And again,
Gosh.
Li Ming, all of her stuff. Again, she is on the PTR. You can play her right now if you buy her. So we don't need to go too in depth on her. But
and
one,
all of her talents are up on Heroes Nexus and everything too. If you want to check that out,
or in the patch notes.
Yeah, of course.
But I guess real quick before we hop into this, we didn't really talk about Zool. We kind of skipped over him.
It's true.
He's a necromancer right here.
Yes,
From Diablo
which-
2, and I'm so pumped. Like I didn't even play Diablo, I didn't even play the Necromancer in Diablo 2, but just having a character that finally gives us some real D2 flavor is just so cool to me because I spent years on that game back in the day. Back in high school, just working in a movie theater and playing that game was all I did for some summers. So, yeah. I'm pumped.
No, it's a great kit.
Yeah.
It sounds
That
like
too.
they kept it very true to the Diablo 2 spirit of the necromancer.
I found it interesting that because I didn't play the Necro in D2 either, that whenever I think of a Necromancer and stuff, I think of EverQuest because back when I played that, I played a Necromancer. So I was thinking like ranged special or something. No, he's melee. He has
Yeah.
a sword and then like a scythe,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But he also, something that makes this guy more interesting is he has an extra ability, base ability compared to other heroes. So I think it's going to be his one is going to be
Yeah.
Bone Shield. Is that what that
Bone
is?
armor, I
Bone
think
armor,
it's
something
called.
like
Yeah,
that.
bone armor.
But yeah, again, he is a specialist, so I'm really excited for him. I don't think as
It's been too
excited
long.
as for Li Ming.
Too long since we had another specialist.
Yeah, and
Melee.
I've
Sylvanas was
that.
the last one.
yeah, I'm not sure I would consider myself a specialist main now, although that's what I was for a long time. But who knows? He comes back out. Maybe I will be again. I don't know. I just
Well, he's supposed to be so good against auto attack
Yeah.
comps with his cursed strikes and all this stuff. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do. And the level 20 upgrade to that cuts healing in half as well.
The first quote mortal strike
Right.
in Heroes of the Storm. It is a level 20 talent, so that's
But
it takes
there's
a
a lot
while
of
to get to it.
healing
But
that can go
that's
out.
a big deal in like a level 20 team fight because sometimes
Right.
level 20 team fights will decide a game.
Yeah.
And so if you're reduced whatever it is 25%, 15% healing during that crucial team fight, that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and hop into the PTR patch notes, though. So again, Li Ming's in there. I got new portraits added in for the those combos, the special portraits. Got one for Cho'Gall, another StarCraft for Artanis, Tastar, and Zeratul if you get them all to 10. Other than that, nothing happened. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of stuff as far as like user interface and sound, but again, we'll have the patch notes in the show notes, and you guys can check those out. If you want.
I do want to point out this is pretty big. Murky and Leoric have received unique death sounds.
That's nice.
This is huge for morale because previously every time Murky died, you'd hear the exact same sound, and especially in Hero League or something, I'd freak out every time. It's like, oh crap, who died? Why are they dying again? And then you look up and it's Murky, and it's just like, ugh, okay. So him and Leoric, who are probably the most prone to death, getting their own death sound so you can actually, without even looking, say, oh, it's just Murky, he died.
Nothing
that's
for
a
the
really nice
Vikings,
thing.
though. I feel like they could use it too. I mean,
That's true.
because their deaths don't count for the full amount. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm still happy with this.
yeah. I actually didn't even catch that. That is kind of cool. I like it. But before we hop into the heroes, had some battlegrounds changes, and the big one was towers, forts, and keeps are now dealing 50% bonus damage to heroes, which is amazing.
Yes.
Everyone's
Yeah,
been
it's
asking
great.
for it for a while. I know, like
Oh my goodness.
the past couple weeks, you get into quick match or team league or hero league, and it's just 5 people picking a lane and pushing, getting both those towers and gate down with
So annoying.
nothing to stop them. So hopefully this will deter that a little bit. Maybe 50%. You still get a heavy tank in there, something with a good healer. You can still probably get a tower down.
But
fairly
you're
quickly.
risking stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah,
50%
it's
pretty
actually
big.
a risk now instead
Yeah.
of just
Yeah.
a face
for
roll.
sure.
I mean, and the other big thing, structures can no longer be made vulnerable. That's another structure buff in general. Like no more Cold Embrace, no more.
Was
I
Cold
forget
Embrace
whatever the-
Jaina's? Because that one was so good.
Raynor, I believe. Did Raynor have one?
No, Raynor doesn't have a vulnerability. Jaina has one. Sylvanas has one. There's a few things that can do vulnerability, but I mean, those things worked on the core.
Yeah.
They used to work on the core. That was crazy. Now the vulnerabilities won't work on the core. So that's a big time buff to the core and to just structures in general.
And to game length, I think this has to drag out games a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, not to the point of ridiculousness, but I mean, I think it's.
I
gonna
think it might
prolong.
stop some of those burst down the core type games.
Finishes.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they changed that to the core a while back, to where the core couldn't be vulnerable, but the towers and
know.
stuff still could.
Chat room, correct us on this. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. so-
Regardless, it's a big structure buff.
Yeah, that's just general for all the maps. However, we've had some change in other maps as well. The Dragon Knight. It doesn't seem huge, but it's kind of big. The damage from structures has been, or the damage reduction from structures has been increased from 50% to 60. So that's going to help out with those really early Dragon Knights a little bit because he gets melted down so fast by those towers now. So this will help just a little bit. And then also his Savage Charge. The channel time's been reduced by almost half a second. Ish, which is nice. There's not as long of a wind up. You can really get that person out of there. But the cooldown was increased by 2 seconds from 8 to 10 seconds. And then another big one, Arcane Punisher on Infernal
Oh, yeah.
Shrines.
This is so needed.
Yeah.
It's been needed.
So-
His Arcane Sentries, the damage has been reduced by 20%.
Thank
So
goodness.
yeah,
Like, he could literally jump on you and stun you, and if 2 of those things were going, you were dead instantly without any other people
And-
attacking you.
And I mean, that's how it is in Diablo 3, but it just didn't work
It was
so
true.
well.
Yeah, it was true
is.
to the game,
Yes,
but
I
not
like
not
that.
so good of a of a conversion over to heroes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just stand in those in the game because I have a sweet
Oh, the amulet that heals you?
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then Towers of Doom. This one's kind of big too. I always wondered why this happened, but the ownership of nearby bell towers will no longer determine which lane sapper mercenaries will travel down. So I always wondered why, you'd get those bottom mercs on your side, and sometimes they would go bottom, sometimes they would go top. So now they are always going to travel down the bottom lane, which
So there's no middle lane mercs anymore.
yeah, which is nice because a lot of times, we would take control of their bottom fort, and then we'd grab one expecting it to go down to try and deal some damage to their core, and, well, they just went mid, so there goes that. So I think it could shorten up games a little bit. I think we'll see control over those bottom forts become a lot more important.
For sure.
A lot more pushing on those, so. But that does it for the maps. Now on to the heroes. So a few heroes got a lot of changes, and then some
Oh my
smaller
gosh.
ones. TBK, what do we got as far as assassins?
So Gaul, good lord.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff changed. Not a lot of new stuff. He got one new talent, but a lot of it is just number changes. And pretty much without going over everything, Gaul got a buff across the board for the most part. So they're
Which I think
really
they needed.
trying. Yeah, they're really trying. Just Cho'Gall in general did, because you have to really have such a powerful hero to make up for losing that extra body, because most maps aren't 2-lane, and the 2-lane maps are probably Cho'Gall's best, but Haunted Mines is gone. So
Yep.
there's not a whole lot of 2-lane maps left for him to really shine on. So
Well, I've actually found I've played against him a few times on Towers of Doom, and he's been a monster.
Towers of Doom is one of the few other ones that I would say he's actually really good on, just because it's a much more team fight centric map than
Right.
some of the other ones, and he does shine in team fights. So yeah, Gaul got a really big boost. Illidan, here's Illidan's basic attack damage increased from 74 plus 4% per level to 78 plus 4% per level.
Yay.
Is it nice? Yes. Will it actually make a big difference? Probably not.
That's that huge buff I was talking about earlier.
He's got other problems that
Yeah.
they'll need to deal with as well before I think it's just in this stun heavy meta right now, he just gets melted so fast that he's just not been worth it to take over a safer assassin like a Raynor or a Vala.
But
Let's see.
I mean, I do wish it was more, but at the same time, I could see Illidan being they're kind of scared to buff him too much. This is going to be one they make small moves
They
with
have to
because
be careful with Illidan.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, with his potential, if you could do something that doesn't seem that big, but then with Stim Drone, it could just turn monstrous and insane and unstoppable. So
Yeah, even this could be huge with Stim Drone.
yeah, I
technically.
mean, but
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, Stim Drone has been around for a long time. Illidan's been around for a long time. At least from a pro scene, we don't see that run very often, and that's because of this stun-heavy meta
yeah,
that's going on. With
which they're addressing
this-
with things like the cleanse change and all that.
this with the new cleanse and possibly some other things, who knows? We could see him back. If anyone was going to bring him back, I would count on Resurgence and Glaurung to come up with something cool, because Glaurung is definitely one of the best Illidan players ever.
yeah.
So, last week, of course, or the last mini balance patch, Lunara got a decent buff, and she's actually in a pretty decent spot now.
She's amazing. I love her.
Yeah, I've
still.
been playing her. She's a lot of fun. But this is really cool. This is like the thing everyone's been asking for. So Lunara's basic attack has received responsiveness improvements. Stutter step works now.
Nice.
Her ranged basic attack animation and the melee basic attack animation were normalized to actually match the speed of the movements. So you can actually much easierly.
Easierly?
Easierly.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yes, it's much
Yeah.
easier
Lee.
to stutter step with her now, which is awesome. And then they decreased the mana cost and the cooldown of her wisp, which I still have lots of wisp issues.
Yeah,
Wisp.
A lot of whisping issues.
Yes.
I kind of find the change they made to it weird too, because the cooldown was decreased from 45 to 30 seconds, but its duration has not been changed, which I believe its duration is 45 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So,
The cooldown was decreased from 45 to 30.
yeah, but the duration hasn't changed. So it makes it a little weird for me. So what's going to happen between that 30 and 45 seconds if you try and move your wisp? Is it just going to cancel that one out and spawn a new one?
Cast a new one.
Because that, I mean, that could, it's not a
would
huge deal, but
assume
if you're
you'll-
checking out an area, like you say, you just want to move it a little bit, but you're across the map, now you're going to have to send it all the way back up there.
I don't know. I assume you keep control of it until the old one goes away.
And,
you
or
killed
yeah,
or
destroyed or
something,
something.
Yeah, until it's destroyed. And then if the cooldown's up, it's just up again for you to spawn another one.
Yeah,
You could test it on the PTR. That would
I
tell you.
need to do
Yep,
that.
it's true. So moving on. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Nova got gutted. And she was completely reworked. Just massively. I mean, just looking at the very beginning, Conjurer's Pursuit removed, Gathering Power removed, Envenom removed, Headshot removed, Spell Shield removed, Overdrive removed, Bolt of the Storm removed. She got a ton of new talents. And honestly, you just need to look at the notes to really kind of wrap your head around this. They really took away what I at least on I haven't played her a ton yet because I haven't gotten the chance. PTR queues are insane right now, but it's really tough to say after just a few games. They took a lot of her burstiness away, honestly. The new and especially she feels that gathering talent, that gathering power removal. She really feels that, especially on her precision strike ult. Snipe can be reduced quite a bit, but they also reduce the snipe base damage from 335 plus 4% per level to 268 plus 4% per level. So each snipe doesn't do near as much damage.
Well, they're trying to make up for the new,
Yeah, there is a new talent at level 7 called Snipe Master, which hitting an enemy hero with snipe increases subsequent snipe damage by 5%, and it can stack up to 10 times. But the problem with this is every single stack is lost if you miss one snipe.
Yeah, so just don't miss. That's easy.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think they were going for trying to make a few talents with a higher skill cap, but I don't know, staying alive with stacks of gathering power was hard enough as it is, especially being Nova and you don't have any really built-in escapes other than I'm going to throw my decoy out and hope you're dumb and hit that instead. But this is, I don't know, I can't really make a judgment call on this one because I haven't played it enough yet. There's a lot of really good subreddit topics about it. The general consensus though right now is that she was gutted and nerfed fairly hard.
Well, okay, here the Blizzard apologist is going to come out in me for a second. I think this is so different. I think Nova lovers are just going to overreact to it because it's a huge deal. However, it's so different. I think it's going to take a while before we figure out if she has a place or if she's completely gone. I haven't played her yet, but from looking at some of the changes, and people are talking about she's been turned more sustained now instead of burst because who likes being one shot by a Nova? Even if it's not a good Nova, but a Nova gets one shot off and bam, you're dead. But with the movement speed increases and stuff, it seems like they're trying to possibly make her more of instead of a single gang squad or moving with a gang or by herself, moving with a team is kind of a gang squad because you're seeing a lot of rotating gang squads right now.
Yeah,
but
maybe I don't. My feeling is she had a really good niche before because she could punish very squishy damage heavy teams, which that's kind of a risk you take when you play those type of teams. They did nerf her to the point where she most of the time couldn't one shot you unless she's really got the Stacks of Gathering power going, and in that case, it's a little bit on your team for not focusing her and not killing her, or good on the enemy team for really protecting her. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's going to take a few weeks before this really settles, and we, like you said, we kind of see where you're going. I see what you're saying, but we've already got so many sustain type heroes. I'm a little sad to see her taken out of that squishy Punisher type niche, because she was actually seeing even a little bit of pro play, and some of the biggest Nova pro players like Equinox have come out and said she's ruined for me. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Well, and yes, they are pro players, but again, I think even they can overreact on this, and it's just going to take a few weeks. I'm not saying that she's not wrecked, but I don't want to overreact to it, because who knows? This crazy stuff happens all the time. Maybe somebody is going to find something that's just going to be nuts, or maybe we're going to see some pro player just be absolutely insane with her that never misses a snipe and stuff, and who knows?
Gets those stacks up like crazy.
Yeah, because
here's a real question for you guys, though. Should we just go ahead and go back and delete the Nova episode from our feed? Because this is a totally new character. There's no point in listening to that Spotlight. In fact, when we go back and revisit...
yet.
That's true. But when we go back and revisit, these are the ones we need to be hitting up again, because,
yeah.
All right, so moving on, since we've got... covered still.
One other thing, just because I saw it in chat, and I do want to address it. In Ryu talking about how she has no escape now. No, she doesn't have Bolt, but that Ghost Protocol is pretty darn insane. Activate for stealth for 2 seconds. It's only 2 seconds, but even if you take damage, you do not get taken out of stealth. So you cannot be targeted by stuff. They have to be skill shots. 2 seconds is plenty to get the heck out of dodge, get back behind your front line,
juke somebody or something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, there is no more double decoy anymore, though. That was,
thank goodness.
Yeah.
So, no more rewind quad decoy. Okay, so Butcher, his Land of the Slaughter ult actually just reacts normal across the board. Stasis effects no longer remove the chain. Invulnerability and Unstoppable suppress the chain rather than remove it. So if you're invulnerable while inside the chain thing and you become uninvulnerable while the thing's going on, you could still technically get chained. And it also no longer affects... enemy heroes affected by Land of the Slaughter can no longer enter the Dragon Knight, Garden Terror, or the Medevac, and Tyrael can no longer cast Judgment. Get out of it.
Yeah.
So, just pretty much fixing a lot of little side fringe cases.
Right.
Tychus got a cool little range indicator while his overkill, his Q, is active, and it just shows you when you hover the cursor over the ability icon. So it's only visible to Tychus, just kind of a quality of life thing. Zeratul actually got a decent buff.
Yeah.
His cleave damage was increased from 189 plus 4% to 200 plus 4%, so more cleave damage. And the big thing is his Shadow Assault was changed completely. The range was increased by 37%. A range indicator will now display while Shadow Assault is active, and when hovering the cursor over the ability icon to show you how far it is. Its duration was reduced from 6 to 4 seconds, but its mana cost was reduced from 100 to 50, and its cooldown, this is the insane part. Its cooldown was reduced from 100 seconds to 45 seconds.
Now, obviously, this is one of those things they're doing to try to make an ultimate that we never see a little bit more sexy to where we might. But are we going to see it still? Because Void Prison... That's all I want to say.
Void Prison is a game changer, for sure. But I could definitely see a more... this is almost like the new Nova as far as burst down super quick type thing. Get on somebody, you stick on them, they're dead, and you get out of there, especially with this extra cleave damage. He could definitely have a just like burst the squishy down build even more so than before.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm excited. I
want to try it.
Back when I played some Zeratul, I loved playing Shadow Assault. It's really fun. But I never really got to pick it because of Void Prism. But this, I think this could put him back in a good spot. The 55-second decrease on cooldown is nuts.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for the assassins. We have some specialist ones, multi. Few. What do we got there?
Nothing too crazy here. Abathur, though, buffs.
Yes, I'm so excited for this. Which again,
Yeah.
who would have thought until 2 weeks ago Gizmo would have been excited about Abathur buffs?
Yeah, would not have.
And this
Now I
is
am.
crazy because like he's actually in a good spot right now.
I think
This
so.
is just like icing on the cake for
Yep.
Abathur.
And I mean, it's small numbers. It's like his stab Q is going up from 108 to 113. The W's going up just, what is that, 5 points? I'm not good at math. But the point is, his abilities in Symbiote are going to be doing a little bit more damage, and I don't hate that. I usually get pretty good siege and sometimes even hero damage on him anyway, and I don't know, give me more. I'm cool with that. Asmodan, and not really that notable. His General of Hell trait no longer dismounts you, whatever. Gazlo is getting a few things. It's not the huge Gazlo overwork that we were looking for, where like he's supposed to be an entirely new character, of course, yet. But some mana cost reductions. There's another charge level damage bonus that has increased from 25 to 50% on his Goblin Fusion talent. It's just little things like that. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah. And then some supports. This is another one, a huge change. Malfurion got a small one. His innervates, the increase in mana return from 15 to 20%. And then the talent where you can get the bonus to it has gone from 25 to 30% of target's
lot of
maximum
mana.
Yeah.
It's just pretty serious, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I
that's a lot of
wish and he just got some buffs in the last balance patch, didn't he?
To his Q, but not his
Yeah.
R. Or his-
I haven't seen him much since the last one, but I hope that Q change did help a little bit, because right now with the stun and burst meta that there is, his heal over time just can't keep up.
I can
with
say
anything.
I've played him since the change, and he does feel a lot better. You do have a lot more like oomph to that initial heal, especially if you take the regrowth talent that gives it more of a heal as well.
Yeah.
I think this mana return, though, from the new innervate's going to be what defines him. And it kind of already is, but, I mean, now it's more important than ever to not forget to toss out your D.
Yes. It's been too long since we've been
D
generous
joke.
with the Ds.
Oh my.
Now
But
you can actually see
I thought we
Ryan's
were over
face
that.
react to this.
no, we're never over it. But TBK, I know you played some Rhaegar in the PTR, correct?
Oh my gosh.
So you can cover this bad boy.
Yeah, please
So
do.
Rhaegar is god tier support now. Like I can almost guarantee you that Rhaegar will be almost 100% pick ban when this goes live.
Really?
This is insane. So he's got a huge rework. They baked Feral Lunge, the talent where he leaps at the target while he's in wolf form and does the bonus damage and then changes back to Rhaegar form like Transformers. They baked that into his trait now. So you don't even have to talent into it. That's huge for mobility, for even retreating if you can jump back to an enemy or a minion wave or something. So that's really big time. His lightning shield got some huge changes. You've got a bunch of new talents for his lightning shield. You can make it bigger. At level 1, you've got a talent that when you cast lightning shield on someone else, it gives you an untalented version automatically, and that's at level 1.
That's pretty crazy.
He's got his new lightning shield. When you actually take the shield talent for it, it gives the target, I believe, I'm double checking this to make sure that I'm correct, 15% of their max health as a shield now. It's an actual flat value. 15% of their max health as a shield for 3 seconds. That's huge. That is big time, especially if you throw that on tanks or something.
Right. You get a lot out of it.
His Earthbind totem got a much needed baseline area of effect radius increase, which is pretty awesome. An extra 16% just baseline. You get a cool new talent called Totemic Projection. You can reactivate Earthbind Totem to relocate it. So you could technically throw down Earthbind Totem, slow somebody, shift to wolf form. They're out of it. Jump to them feral lunge, which is now built in, and then reactivate your slow totem, your Earthbind totem, to slow them again. Like, there's all sorts of crazy things you can do with this now. And then
Yeah, and
the
I'm right-
other... Oh, go ahead.
Good. I was going to say I'm right there with Derelict in the chat because I don't even own him, and I want to get the Master Skin now. Hearing this,
Yeah, no,
sweet
it's...
stuff.
And they actually, and they put, and it was really interesting, they put a lot of his healing talents on the same level now. So you actually have to pick between like extra chain heal talents or the shield. So I really like how they made the build variety on his new thing. It's really diverse. You can really kind of direct in, and a lot of the talents don't necessarily even support his healing. There's like only 1 or 2 tiers now that are healing tiers. And they actually buffed his initial chain heal
A lot.
heal by a
Yeah.
very decent bit. So you don't honestly even need to necessarily go into it with a talent now to make it good. And one of the reasons for this, so Ancestral Heal, his ult, the cooldown was actually increased from 70 to 80 seconds. So still a really good ult, still worth taking, but Bloodlust is a little bit more appealing now, especially with if you get a shield on an actual shield on his lightning shield, and the actual extra health you get from chain heal, just baseline now, and then this awesome talent, level 20. It's a redesigned talent, Gladiator's War Shout. Each ally affected by Bloodlust now heals for 30% of their basic attack damage dealt to their primary target.
So some of the healing you
Wow.
were missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy crap. That could be just a team fight changer by itself. Losing the team fight, hit your R, and everyone is now healed back to full health.
Well,
stack that
not
with
to
stuff.
Auto
full.
attack people, like if you're auto attacking fast, think of a Rainer with Nexus Frenzy and then healing 30% of that basic attack damage.
And Stim Drone. I'm just
It's like you want someone to heal up to full, throw a Stim Drone on them, bam, Stim Drone Bloodlust, they're healed. So I honestly think we'll start seeing some Bloodlust now, especially if Rhaegar is teamed up with either a Tyrande or a Tassadar to kind of supplement his own. If you only take chain heal or only have chain heal and don't actually take that ancestral, it could totally be viable with the right team comp. now, I
Yeah,
think.
but keep in mind, this is only at level 20, which is very late
Right.
game. That's 10 levels you got to go through without that.
It's true. That could win those late game team fights. At the
Yes,
same
but
time,
it
too.
could possibly lose you earlier team fights. Who
Well,
knows? Who knows?
that's-
maybe
and
if he's in a
it's-
dual
yeah.
support comp.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
I-
Yeah, and that's
like
why I was
with the
saying. I
Morales.
think teamed with a Tassadar or a Tyrande,
Yeah.
I think that would allow you to not have to take that ancestral and be able to go Bloodlust. And now he's got a lot more damagey type talents, so you can actually build him more of a hybrid damage character. And so the dual support with him at least may come back.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to point out, I know we talked about his chain heal, but did you talk about the new talent? Because it's awesome. At level 13, when chain heal heals an allied hero that is
yes.
below 50% health, they're also healed for an additional 200. Did you talk about that?
Yeah. I didn't.
Okay,
But he's got so many new talents and stuff. I kind of
It's
glossed over. a few
I
of them,
think
but yeah,
that's amazing. That's 200 plus 4% per level. That's huge. Plus, this one doesn't say primary target healed,
Could be
so
anything
that
on the
bouncing
chain.
also healing for 200. That could be. Sounds amazing to me. We were just talking about Blizzard doing some gradual changes, being careful. Think they may have gone a little overboard on this one. We'll
This
see.
is a Rhaegar rework.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm super excited for it, but I hope it doesn't become first pick, first ban.
I think he is going to move into top tier support at the very least now.
Yeah.
I think it's that big.
And then of the other two sports, we got Tyrande, searing arrows, now dismounts her, and Uther Hammer of Justice can no longer be used on structures, which,
Rep Siege Uther build.
yeah,
That's
no
right.
kidding.
Rip backdoor Uther.
My favorite thing to do was waste mana on a tower, you know? But then, so we got a couple warrior changes as well. Cho also got some slight buffs. The duration of Gall's Hurry Up has increased half a second. Surging Fist, did that get a buff? Yes.
Attack speed bonus was increased by double, which is pretty cool. Although the talent moved from level 7 to 16, so
Yeah. So,
debatable.
again, just trying to help him get up there. And then Sonia's Seismic Slam primary target damage reduced from 192 to 176, and splash
Yep.
damage decreased from 48 to 44. Which
This is big.
yeah, and
This is needed.
that's a pretty big change numbers wise. So we'll see if that was too much. I don't think it'll be too much. We just won't see her absolutely destroy people right now.
Yeah, I think you'll still see her, but she just won't be
Oh,
doing an assassin's damage.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
As a warrior, yeah.
As a warrior, right? Which is fine.
It's good.
But that's going to do it, besides some bug fixes and stuff. And again, you guys can check that out in the show notes. We'll have that posted. But some big changes, exciting ones. We will see if those get implemented next week, or if maybe they'll realize some mistakes or something, and we'll only see some of them. We shall see. But let's move on to some questions that we've had stocked up for a while and just have had some super busy episodes, including this one. But that's why we didn't have
Especially
Hero of the
this
Week.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this first one, Multi, why don't you go ahead and read? Actually,
this
this is a topic, a discussion one. I guess it's kind of a question, but yeah.
Yeah. It's from Hi, I'm Matt, and we've been putting it off for
Matt
a
Zord.
few weeks now. Matt Zord. You're right.
Sorry
I should
about
start
that.
calling by his first name.
Hi, I'm
his
Matt
real
Zord.
name. Oh, hello, Matt Zord. Welcome. Anyway, he feels like there's still a lot of misunderstanding regarding the flow of a game and how laning and objective phases play into the flow. And he wants us to discuss, how to time team fights around levels, talents, objectives, etc. In his perspective, he sees a lot of misguided belief that after level 10, the team should just group up and force fights for the rest of the game, which he says is obviously wrong. And to that, I've been thinking about this question quite a bit, again, because I've had 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
to do it. And I do agree with you in that that's typically a wrong move, and you don't see that at the pro levels as much. But at my level anyway, which again, I'm around I teeter between rank 8 and 9 and that sort of thing. Probably get higher if I just sink more time into it. You know how it goes. But sometimes the murder ball deal, actually getting in group and taking objectives together, killing a couple people off, maybe then soaking a little bit and then regrouping as the murder ball. I've had a lot of games where I find success doing that over certainly complete disarray, at least. So, I think there's a place for that, but at the same time, yeah, I certainly agree with you. And when it comes to the flow of the game, we've talked about it a little bit on the show in terms of making sure that you are another talent above, or if you're trying to be more aggressive and you can play a little bit more conservatively if you're a talent below, just keeping an eye on that, watching talents, obviously, that sort of thing. But then, the objectives are, in my mind, almost always really important. It depends on the map as far as how important, but yeah, it's a lot to talk about. What do you guys think?
So this is one, again, I've been thinking about too. I've been trying to figure out how to answer it because it's one of those ones that's really hard to answer as a whole for the game, because it's going to depend on map. It's going to depend on what the enemy team's doing. It's going to
Right.
depend on your comp. For instance, if you see enemy team not soaking a lane, of course, yes, you want to soak that early game to get that experience bonus. However, if you see where the enemy team's positioned, you can set up for a gank or something, then go back to soaking. You see a lot of people, especially in competitive play, and this is why I've been enjoying Team League so much right now, because we can take these strats that we see in the competitive scene and actually run them, which you cannot do in quick match unless you're a full group of 5, just because it's so hectic, you can't communicate it through pings and whatnot, such as, depending on maps like Tomb of Spider Queen or Dragonshire, having one man up top and then a 4-man rotation between mid and bottom, which is if you don't do it correctly, you'll lose out on that soaking experience. So if you can't do it, then you need to have someone in bottom lane as well and do the 3-man or the 2-1-2. Just lots and lots of different stuff. And again, team at level 10 grouping up and fighting depends on the match. Are you 2 levels ahead? Are they continually sticking their head out and giving you these ganks? Because if they are, then you can just run away with the game like that. If they're not, then you want to be careful not to let them sneak some ganks because they'll quickly catch back up. And it's so tough. So the best advice I can give is for anyone listening, watch competitive play. These tournaments. I've learned so much. My game has improved so much by watching them. And play, if you're playing on a team, have those people watch them too. Discuss the strats, watch your replays, pay attention to what the other team's doing. And I know that's not a very solid answer, but for a game like this with so many different maps and stuff, it's hard to really nail it down. I don't know if you have anything, TBK.
I was just gonna like I said, we've all been thinking about this for a while. I was just gonna kind of run over the flow again. You guys hit a lot of the major points, and especially like you said, watch the pro games. Like that's where to learn from. There's just so many just incredible plays that you see on there. It's just like, I didn't know you could use that like that, or I didn't know that worked together so well with that. But like just flow the game wise, you always pre-level 10, you want to be soaking at all the lanes as much as you can. Absolutely as much as you can. Objectives are very important, but at the same time, you also have to learn when you can give an objective up. Or not only when you can give an objective up, when you should give an objective up. A lot of times that will be around talent tiers, that 4, 7, 10, 13, 16 type, 20 type thing. A lot of times, like say Curse Hollow, for example, it's the second shrine spawn. The other team's level 7, you're 6.5. Should you go and fight it? Probably not. You should probably go and continue soaking to get that level 7 so that you can be ready and prepared to fight for that third tribute that's actually going to matter. It's just little stuff like that. And then engaging in team fights at 10. Never, unless you outnumber the enemy team, engage in a level 9 or level 8 versus a level 10 team.
Right.
Like 95% of the time you will lose that. Just because the level 10 heroics are such a big power spike. And it can be almost the same type of thing. If you're in the same talent tier, the levels don't matter near as much, especially now after the stats change. But anytime you're like 15 to 16 or 12 to 13, you have to be really, really careful with your engages because you are at a big disadvantage, and not enough people seem to realize that. They'll go in, your team will wipe, and the enemy will just get even further ahead. So a lot of times, taking the objectives or even taking merc camps, just sometimes, I know a lot of people have said, don't take merc camps unless you're going to use them, but I would almost say sometimes take merc camps just to take merc camps to deny them to the enemy team, especially if the enemy team is ahead of you, because otherwise they're going to get them and get even more ahead of you. It's going to be even harder to stop. So it's just a lot of that thinking. Just be thinking ahead with the snowball stuff so that you don't get snowballed harder. And the game is made so that you can come back. So pick your fights and play smart.
That's it.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just now updating the title of this broadcast from testing to episode 48, first live show.
Great.
Dang it. But yeah, so hi, Matt.
Look at all those people watching that test stream. That's weird.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so it's, again, a hard question to nail down. We hope that helped out a little bit. But we have some other questions. We have one from Joro, said, should you learn to play a hero in AI mode, or is it okay to play a hero new to you in quick match? This is going to depend on everybody. For me, I played 95% of new heroes in quick match. I have played, I feel, enough of this game to be able to hop in with a new hero, and I've played enough roles. However, that doesn't mean I just buy them, bam, hop in. I read over their talents, see what can I think may synergize, have an idea of a build I want to do before I go in, so I'm not having to pause in the middle of a match and read those talents. But there are heroes who I have taken into quick match and realized quickly this was a mistake. And then Abathur, for instance, back a long time ago when I played him, and it made me never want to play him again.
Greymane was one of those for me, man. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I just got my head ripped off that first game.
But so it's, if you're not comfortable doing that, if a new warrior comes out and you haven't played a lot of warrior, but you really want to play this one, should probably take him into AI. And again, feel free to take him in a quick match. Just, be aware it may upset some people. It may not. It's quick match. People should get over it. But yeah, it's going to depend on the person, I guess. What about you, Multi? What do you find yourself doing?
I mean, I just jump in. What the heck? Like, I also don't really care that much about my quick match MMR personally, because when I'm quick matching, it's with listeners, it's with you guys, it's with some of the other Zoras we've known throughout the years and stuff. So I mean, like, I never really care what the skill pool is, or even really what I'm coming up against. Like, if they're just not very high, then I crush them. If they're much higher than me, then they crush me. Whatever, it's quick match. I don't care. So, and to that end, like, yes, there are some heroes I would regret bringing to quick match sooner than others, but I just do it. The only way to really know a player or a particular hero is to play against other players, in my mind. So just go for it.
Yep. TBK?
I love. I've made my opinion on this clear many times. TBK is a very big advocate for AI first. Anytime I do a new hero, I always take him in an AI game first, just to kind of feel them out and just see how they play, ranges on spells, different talents, what I think might be good, might be not good, might synergize well together. And it's just, it's still, depending on the difficulty of AI you play, of course, it can still be a halfway challenging environment, but at the same time be more controlled, so that you can take your time a little more to learn instead of in the franticness of quick match sometimes. So that's just my current.
Okay.
That's
Personal question for you. When it comes down to entering a pool, do you wade in the shallow end, or do you just cannonball off the diving board?
Well, he already
It
knows how to
depends if
swim.
I've been to the pool before.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you can swim in one pool, you can
swim.
swim in them all, right?
Yeah, but what if the deep end in this pool is only 4 feet and I cannonball
That's true.
in, and
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
a
Broken
very bad
tailbone.
deal.
Touche.
The
Touche,
Avatar
sir.
pools, just too difficult to jump in.
Yep.
One last thing I will add to this is, again, for me personally, one of the reasons I don't hop into AI always is because I have found I pick up bad habits in AI and think I'm stronger than I actually am, and that carries
Sounds
over.
like a personal problem.
And then also, it is not okay to play a new hero in Hero League. And I don't mean, day one, yeah, you can't play him. If you've played 10 games on him or whatever, cranked him out to level 7, 8, I care, level 4, and you've got him down, then yeah, take him into Hero League if you want. But it's not first game. Don't do it.
Yep. Completely agree.
If we don't have who this next question's by?
All these next questions are from Blueheart.
Excellent.
He went on a question spree.
All right. TBK, what do we got for the next question then?
Okay, so Blue asks, what hero do you think will be released after Li Ming and Zul? Speculation aside, which hero do you personally want to see next? So as far as who do I think will be released next, I think Gul'dan has a pretty decent chance of getting released sometime in the near future, as he was actually talked about. We still got several months before Overwatch, and I have a feeling Tracer will be timed with that much near as well. But, I mean, as far as what I'd like to see, I want Ragnaros. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Yep.
I want Ragnaros. Give me some Ragnaros.
Now, I was going to say, and this is maybe me being an optimist here, but I think that the next one might be Tracer, and I got a couple of reasons for it. For one, there was an image that came out that showed some hints about the upcoming characters. We had like Zul's bone dagger in the sand, and then you could see the wand that Li Ming is using, etc. And of course, one of the things you saw was Tracer's gun. And I mean, maybe it's just a reference to the fact that we all know Tracer's coming in the game eventually once Overwatch comes out as part of the Origins edition. Or maybe it's a clue that she is the next in line. And if you think about it, we've got early February for Li Ming. We've got probably early March, at the best late February. No, actually, February is a short month. So, yeah, probably early March for
It's a
Zul.
leap year.
Yeah? Okay, so
It is. It is. It's
There's that,
slightly
but anyway.
longer February.
Very, very slightly, yes. But okay, and so then March for Zul. April is an optimistic time to think that Overwatch is coming out, but it could happen, and it could be Tracer. That said, Ragnaros, number one. I actually want.
You stole the first part of my answer because actually that's exactly what I was going to say. I agree with you 100%. I do think it will be Tracer. I'm not sure that means Overwatch is coming that soon. I was very strict on my belief that we would not see an Overwatch hero before or Overwatch actually launched.
Well, that's
But
for sure.
if it's that close, and she was shown at BlizzCon, it's they didn't show anything else. They didn't show the Necro or the Wizard, which means they could possibly have something else almost ready. But if that's what I'm going off of, I think it's Tracer. As far as what do I personally want to see? Oh man, I really want to see a Firebat. And again, I'm not a huge StarCraft player. I haven't even finished all the campaign yet, which I really need to do. But I love the Firebats, and I think we need more StarCraft heroes. So,
But why would you want a dude with a flamethrower when you could have a god of fire at the
When you
heart
could
of
have
the
a
molten
dude
core?
be the flamethrower.
I do want to see Ragnaros as a hero, but I feel like we could see him as a map objective, which I don't want to. I want him to be a hero, but I could see that.
Better not, Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm telling you right now, no.
We have another question from Blue. Says, besides HotSlogs, what other sites do you recommend for looking up hero builds from pro/experienced players? So HotSlogs, I actually never looked up builds from HotSlogs. I didn't look at the win percentages and stuff, which is dumb of me. I just didn't. But we use Heroes Fire for almost all of our Heroes discussions that we go over, unless it's one we personally play a lot, and we may vary a little bit. But a lot of times our builds are the same as some build on Heroes Fire. So that's a great site. The thing I like about that versus HotSlogs is, some guides are pretty bare and just have talent picks and whatnot, but there's a lot of guides out there that go very in-depth with why they chose the talents they do. Talents you can choose, choose this instead if this is going on or whatnot, and they're just really in-depth, which, HotSlogs is just statistics, which there's some strong statistics to go by, but they don't tell you how to change your game plan mid-game.
Yep.
Another really good one is Icy Veins. If you've not been to that site before, they've got a lot of good stuff on Icy Veins. A lot of good build guides, a lot of good writers over there. Heroes Nexus also has some builds as well, and Heroes Nexus is very similar to Heroes Fire. They've got the build calculators and
They seem to
latest
get their
news
talents
and-
really early. Like
yeah, they do
Mings
data
were up
mining.
the second. Yes,
Yeah,
really could be
Heroes
data mined
Nexus
pretty much.
guys do all the PTR and patch data mining basically as soon as it comes out. So they also have a lot of the new information. Like they got the Li Ming talent calculator up and stuff already. So definitely go check them out too.
You remember how early they got Leoric? That one blew my mind. I
Yeah.
was planning my moves.
Okay, so we had another question from Blue that was talking about scaling changes to towers, how he thought there needed to be more, and well, we don't need to answer
Lo
your
and
question
behold.
because they are getting changed. He was talking about how, again, the early tower dives, it wasn't punishing enough, too easy to do. So we'll see what these changes make to it, if they're enough. If I personally would like to see a health buff to towers and walls. not forts and keeps, but towers and walls.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I would like to see that, like, there's a lot of games between 15 and 20 minutes now. I wouldn't mind seeing more from 20 to 25. That said, you do get those 28 to 30-minute games every once in a while, and that could just extend those to be nuts. So, it's whatever. I'd rather keep them short, I guess.
Also, you're welcome. We got that change in just for you.
Yes.
Yeah. You're totally our idea. Spirian and Dustin Browder listen to the show, I guess. Maybe. Spirian does sometimes. That's going to do it for the show, though. Multi, where can we be reached at?
We can be reached in-game by typing /join space LOTS. We're on Twitter at Lords of the Storm. And on Facebook at facebook.com/Lords of the Storm podcast. You can send us emails with questions, lordsofthestorm@outlook.com. Or you can, send them over our Discord, as we've actually gotten a lot of these. The best way to get there right now is just through our Twitter. There's a sticky at the top, and Discord is, again, a voice chat system and also a place where you can type in various channels. We got channels open for all different Blizzard titles, just all kinds of stuff going on there. It's more active than it's ever been, and I seriously check it like 20 times a day.
We've almost got 350 people registered on it now.
So,
Which is
and I mean,
nuts.
like, the chat is just way more. I don't know where that happened, but like, seriously, 2 or 3
And I
weeks
get back
ago, it
on,
just
and it's
ramped
just
up.
like 150 unread messages.
Yeah,
Good
it's
lord,
like-
guys.
TLDR, I just scroll to the bottom, see what the last guy said, and throw something in, sign off. Anyway, okay, we are part of the Zord Network, www.zordnetwork.com. Did I mention the Twitch channel?
No,
I guess
you
the people
didn't.
here in Twitch probably know what it is, but twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm, where we're going to continue to be live 9 p.m. Central on Wednesdays. Yep.
Yep, very cool.
Taking the words out of my mouth. And so it's been a blast, though, to have you guys. I'm really enjoying this. I want to keep this up, obviously. And, of course, the other thing you can do is leave us 5-star iTunes and Stitcher reviews. This just helps out the show in general. But now you can also help out the show by giving a little extra on the Lords of the Storm Patreon, which, again, is totally voluntary, but we are going to use whatever funds we come up with to just better the show in general. As much as I want to buy just straight ketchup with it, like just nonstop ketchup, these guys won't let me. So it's going to be a better show this year by far, and I'm super pumped.
Yeah. And what's the link for that there, Multi?
The link is patreon.com/Lords of the Storm, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
You are not mistaken.
Man, that's too easy.
You're actually very correct.
You should have made
You're
it more
actually very
difficult.
taken.
It should have been like Lords of the 27 Storm, just to throw people off.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can also find us individually. You can find me on Twitter at Gizmozord or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gizmozord. Or once again on the weekly news VOD done by BlizzPro Weekly that we do weekly, sometimes. Weekly sometimes.
Mostly weekly.
On YouTube under the BlizzPro channel. Multi, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Multizord, also on The Cavalry, which is a podcast about Overwatch. And we just actually had John Horstman from the Payload podcast on there, too. So that was pretty cool. And, of course, I'm on that BlizzPro Weekly you were talking about as well. And I've got that Hearthstone blog that I'm starting to update on. There's some new stuff, hearthstone.zordnetwork.com. And I also just learned that Sriracha has packets now from the chat. And I changed my mind. I'm not going to buy ketchup. I'm going to buy nonstop Sriracha.
And TBK, where can you be found?
You can find me on Twitter at TBKZord and on twitch.tv/TBKZord, where I stream Monday nights starting around 8 Central. We normally, these days, do custom games with Lords of the Storm listeners. So if you want to get in on that, hop in the Discord. And we usually start forming teams up 15, 20 minutes beforehand. And then depending on how many people we have, I'll play. A lot of times I'll cast those along with either Gizmo. Sometimes DJ Tyrant jumps in and does those with me. It's always a ton of fun. So if you're not doing anything Monday nights, definitely be sure to be at those custom games.
Yeah, and typically there's a lot of streams going on during that, which is really cool for different perspectives. TBK's got the casting going on his channel. I know Blue streams, so you can watch his perspective. I either stream or just host on the Lords of the Storm channel, depending on how my internet's being. So check those out. And that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you guys so much to everyone in the chat room for coming out to our first show. We know you guys have been asking for a while, and it's episode 48, but it's better late than never.
Only 48 episodes late.
Yeah.
That's right.
And-
Almost a year.
Do you guys
Oh,
have
you know, whatever.
any last minute shout outs? I want to give just a shout out to my Team League team that we've been playing with. Again, that's Blue Heart, Zoid, Shambulance, and Slambo, aka Matt Zorns, the Zord Lord. Anyone else?
Indeed. I predict that maybe it's Matt Zorns behind the Cavalry show in the chat. I'm not sure. Could be Steven. Correct me on this either way. But yeah, shout out to whoever's repping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just shout out to all you guys who are in chat, because you guys have definitely been our biggest supporters, and all the people who jumped in on the Patreon and just kind of blew us
Yeah.
away. That was insane. We love you all, and we can't wait to meet hopefully many of you at BlizzCon this year, because surprise, we're all going to BlizzCon, at least as of now. So
And
pretty excited.
As long as there's one.
I have a correction. I forgot Suddy, aka Buns, because I've only played with him once on our Team League nights. So sorry, and I also mispronounced one, and I apologize for that. Zwad Berger. I won't let it happen. I said Zoidberg. It's Zwad Berger.
Yeah, right.
But that's gonna do
It's
it
French.
again for this week's episode. We will see you guys next week and in game. Come join us in the custom matches on Mondays. Until then, bye bye.
See ya.
Goodbye, everyone. Zoid Berger hates us.
You were supposed to wait till the end, Multi.
Yeah, well,
Now
can
now
edit it out
everyone will
and
know that
post if
Zoid
you want.
hates us.
Yay! First live show's done.
Woo!
And I only didn't have my video in full screen when I first showed it. That's the only, and changing the title of the episode or the thing.
minor
That
things.
was funny.
Nothing blew up.
Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Oh yeah, chat room. Thank you guys so much. Was
Yeah.
not expecting this many people on our first show. I was expecting me.
Right.
Actually, Blue. Let me grab that poster real quick. I'll show you up closer. If you guys want to.
Oh yeah, the poster Jimmy made.
Oh yeah. Well, here it is. Here. Oh yeah. I don't know. That doesn't help much, but it's there. Yeah, pull up the real thing.
Pull up the.
Also, now is a great time to point out that I have Heroes of the Storm headphones on,
You do.
and I'm rocking the mouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Pretty
that I
awesome.
do. They're all gifts from Amy, my fiance. I bought none of it.
You should keep her.
That's why I chose to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Yep, that's a pretty cool poster. No
Yes.
question. Very cool poster.
But yeah, and oh shoot.
Hold it up one more time.
Who, me?
And it's also
No.
it's on our Twitter. So if you go to the
That's
media
true.
post, it'll be there. And
Oh yeah. If you look through all the pictures on
Yeah.
our Twitter account, it's there.
Yep. So yeah. That
which mine was
went
hanging
okay.
up. It just fell down a couple days ago, so I gotta put that back up. I meant to mention on the show that we were gonna try and start doing Thursday releases. I actually, honestly, I can get that up tonight.
You can give it to me.
There's not anything I have to cut out, so
Oh, for posting
Yeah,
the episodes
because-
Thursdays? Yeah.
yeah. And those
might-
in the chat room, it's not going to affect you that much. But in case you aren't ready to catch a live show, we have been doing Friday releases just because I have an extra day to edit. But it's been pointed out to us that people don't want to feel left behind if they have to wait an entire day because they weren't able to catch the live show, just in case there's discussions going on in Discord and stuff. So We are going to get those Thursdays, hopefully, which I don't think is going to be a problem because originally we started with the day thing because when we started out, I had to do a lot of editing and stuff. That's not the case anymore. So I really just
Well,
clip
what
some
we'll
stuff and
probably
post it.
do is this will probably be the last Friday episode, and then
Oh, you
next
think?
week we'll announce it, and I'll get everything changed on all the text that actually says when the
Yeah.
stuff gets released. And so next week we'll shoot for a Thursday morning release.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks again for coming, guys. And
Yeah, guys, thanks.
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure.
It's been real.
But we'll see you guys in Discord, I'm sure, or in game. But yeah, bye.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right.
We off.
Yes.
You stop the stream. Cool.
Oh, I am.
25 people. That's pretty freaking awesome.
It got to 26. I saw 26.
Is the YouTube channel just Lords of the Storm?
Well, it doesn't have a name yet because you have to have a certain amount of subscribers before you can actually.
You don't have to. I did this with my YouTube channel whenever I started making YouTube videos. I think you have to sign up for something. Like you don't have to have a
They're
certain
saying the
number
stream's
before
still
you.
going.
What?
According to Tank Zord.